All right, welcome to our AIGP training. Today, we're starting right at the beginning, laying the essential groundwork for everything that follows. We're here to build a solid, practical understanding of artificial intelligence, specifically for you, the governance professional. Before we dive in, let's quickly remember our roadmap. The entire AIGP body of knowledge is split into 4 big domains. We are beginning our journey right here, in Domain I, which is all about understanding the absolute fundamentals. Specifically, we are in Chapter 1, and our goal today is really simple, but it's so important. We're going to strip away the science fiction hype to build a practical, governance-focused understanding of what AI actually is. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our plan for today. We'll start with the big picture, your roadmap. Then we'll lock in the official definitions you'll need for the exam, explore the core concepts, and wrap up by seeing exactly why AI governance has to be different. First things first, let's reset our thinking. You know, that common idea of AI as some kind of thinking machine from the movies, it's really not useful for us as governance professionals. We need a practical, real-world framework we can actually work with. And here's why this really matters for you. Mastering these fundamentals is absolutely crucial because between 5 and 8% of your AIGPE exam questions will come directly from these foundational definitions. That's a significant amount of points. So let's move to the official definition we'll be working with. Now, this isn't just some random definition. It's the one that aligns with key global standards like the OECD and the EU AI Act. For your exam, this is the one you need to know. So, the crucial point here, the word to focus on, is not thinking. It's that the system infers how to generate outputs from the inputs it receives. It's a process, data in, inference, and then an output comes out, whether that's a prediction, some content, or a decision. Now please pay close attention here because this next concept is probably the most important one in this entire chapter. If you can really get your head around this one shift, you'll understand exactly why AI governance is a unique and necessary field. Now, what's really fascinating about this slide is the complete reversal. In traditional code, we, the humans, provide the rules. Think of it like a recipe. You put in the data and the rules, and you get a result. But with machine learning, it's totally flipped. We give the machine the data and the results, the ingredients and the finished cake. And it's the machine's job to figure out the recipe, the rules. And this brilliantly illustrates the central challenge for us in governance. Because a human didn't write the rules, we can't easily pop the hood and ask the machine to explain its reasoning. This is the famous black box problem. We know what went in and we know what came out, but the why can be almost impossible to understand. So, what actually makes up one of these AI systems? Well, it's really helpful to think of it as a triad with 3 absolutely essential components. You gotta have all 3. And here they are. First, you need data. That's the fuel. Without it, nothing happens. Second, you have the algorithms. These are the engine, the mathematical instructions that process all that data. And finally, you have compute, the raw processing horsepower. That's the refinery that makes it all work. Next, let's get really clear on the different types of AI you'll hear about. And, more importantly, we need to focus on which one is our focus as governance pros, because it's the only one that's actually real today. For the exam, please remember this. All current AI, and yes, that includes really sophisticated stuff like ChatGPT, is what we call artificial narrow intelligence, or ANI. It's designed for specific tasks. AGI and ASI, for now, are still purely theoretical. Now, this is a very common exam trap, so let's be crystal clear. Because generative AI feels so flexible and creative, a lot of people mistake it for general AI. It is not. It's still just a very, very powerful system focused on the incredibly narrow task of predicting the next most likely word in a sentence. All right, so let's see how this all builds to the big why. Why can't we just use our existing IT governance frameworks for AI? Why does it need its own special attention? This comparison shows the difference so clearly. With traditional software, our governance focus was on things like security and making sure the system didn't crash. But with AI, our focus has to expand dramatically to include new, complex risks like bias, ethics, and robustness, simply because the failure modes are so different, and frankly, so much more subtle. Okay, now let's equip you with some practical tools. A huge part of your job is going to be explaining these complex ideas to non-technical people, to your board, to legal, to executives. Let's give you a couple of simple, powerful analogies you can use. The intern analogy is just perfect for explaining why you need human oversight. AI can execute tasks at an incredible speed, but it lacks any real-world context or judgment. It will follow instructions literally, even if those instructions lead to a really bad place. And the mirror analogy is your go-to for explaining bias. This is so important. If an AI system is discriminatory, the root cause is almost always biased patterns in the training data we gave it. The AI is simply a mirror reflecting the world it was shown. This real-world case study really brings it all together. A bank wanted to automate credit approvals. They swapped out their simple 20-rule system for a powerful AI. But pretty soon, the AI started discriminating based on zip codes, a pattern it found in the data. And when the regulators asked why it was doing this, the bank couldn't explain. That's a classic failure of AI governance, and it led to a hefty fine. So as we wrap up, I want you to use this checklist to just confirm you've mastered the core concepts from this chapter. Can you define AI using that standard? Do you get why all AI today is narrow AI? Can you explain the black box problem? Be honest with yourself and make sure you can check off each of these. And this leads us directly to our next big topic. We've defined the technology, but now we need to ask, what can actually go wrong? So next time, in Chapter 2, we're going to build a framework for identifying and mapping those risks. I'll see you there.